Welcome back to Anchors Up Key West. Today we're going to be doing a first-time project for us, which is replacing the Salon air conditioning in our 2007 48 Sea Ray Sundancer. We've done two other air conditioners in the boat, forward, and we've done an aft air conditioner, which are very easy to get to. This air conditioner in the Salon, not so much. It's behind that wall, it's behind underneath that table at the end of this couch. We've never done it before. We're going to take you with us to do it. Wish us luck, subscribe, leave us comments, and we'll see you in the next video. So you see right here, we just bought this from City Marine in Miami. We've bought some other stuff from them before. They're fantastic. Customer support is fantastic. Their shipping is fast. It's a brand new CTM 16,000 BTU 230 volt air conditioning unit. This is going to replace the one that's downstairs. Right now there's a Dometic downstairs. We're going to open it up for the first time right now. We're going to keep you with us here. We're going to cut the straps off. Okay. Here's our air conditioning. We just want to inspect this before we start the project. So this way, in case there's something wrong, broken, we'll know about it. It's packed really well in here. Take out the pieces that we don't need. Okay. And let's take this one out. All right. Brand new titanium coils, control box. One of the things they said between the Dometic and the CTM is that the CTM is a 6-inch duct port, and the Dometics are a 7-inch duct port. They said you were going to need a clamp, but they gave you clamps. They give you all the parts that you needed for the drains and to the tie downs. Everything looks okay in here. It doesn't look like we have any damage, any shipping damage, which would not be CTM's fault because these are packed right out of the factory like this. It would be more of the carrier. The footprint on this compared to the Dometic that's in there now, right now we have a 16,000 BTU Dometic in there. So one of the reasons that we went to this unit is because the footprint is exactly the same. So the control box is the same. It uses the same displays. It uses the older displays. On this unit, there's a 6-pin connector and an 8-pin connector. So you can use the newer displays or you can use the older displays with this, which is nice. One of our brand new Dometics that are downstairs only has an 8-pin. So we had to actually buy a new controller from CTM. They were fantastic, or City Marine. They were fantastic. Got it to us on a Saturday, which was amazing. So we decided to go with this because then we can upgrade the controllers on the walls if we want to upgrade the controllers. But brand new. I do like this a little bit better. It's a little bit easier. It's nicely framed in with the filter, and the titanium coils on the CTMs are internal instead of being external over here. So this is a brand new unit, and this is what's going to go in there. And let's go to it. So this is what it looks like now. Couch is in one piece. Table and ottoman are here. We have carpet on the floor. It's not going to look like this for long. So we're going to take you with us. We're going to give you a couple different shots of all the things that we need to do in here. And we're going to tear it all apart. We're going to replace it. And then we're going to put it all back together. And eventually it'll look like this again. Stay tuned. Okay, so the other access to the air conditioning in there is right over here behind this wall, right over in here. So right now the beds are spread apart, so we have two single beds. The next time you see it, this bed on the left-hand side is going to get pushed over to the right-hand side, and we're going to have access to the air conditioning and the water lines that are behind that wall, and that's going to assist us in getting everything done so that we can get this air conditioner replaced much faster. All right, so the first thing we're going to do back here is move everything out of the way. because we need to actually move this bed, which is on rails. And if any of you have a 48 Sundancer, you'll see that this bed can be joined to that bed. The downfall to that is we have storage underneath this bed. So when you move it over to there, it's kind of awkward to get in the storage. So we leave them in this direction. But we just got to move our stuff that's over here. Your nightstand that's between the beds is very light, and it's just a little leather nightstand. We move that over there. We're going to take the pillows off this bed over here. Okay, and now we're going to be ready to move this bed over to the other one. So it just slides. We don't really use this very much slide-wise, so it might take me a minute or two to do it. But, okay, actually I'm going to ask my lovely wife for some assistance over here. So if she could come over and help me get this moving, that would be great. Okay. Well, no, we're going to have to move it so that I can get in back here, and then I can move it over. So just all I got to do is just move it towards me, maybe 6 inches. There you go. Okay, that's good right there. I can get in. Okay, this bed now. I can get back here. I'm going to move this bed all the way over, just like that. As we mentioned in other videos, we use airlocks on our air conditioning. We have it's supposed to go right where the airflow goes in. Unfortunately, the control box is way deep in the back. So what I did with the airlocks is I connected them to a outlet, a two-prong plug, and we have a power strip underneath this bed in the whatchamacallit, in the storage underneath the bed. As you can see, when we move the bed, that is pretty stretched over there. So we're going to take out the airlock. We're going to leave that just sitting on the floor over here. And as you can see, there's the air conditioning right in there. There's our water lines right here. And we're going to start with getting it back there. There's a ductwork back there. So this is the one side. And if you look, you can see the other side. There's the wall right there. And that needs to be removed. So that's where the air conditioning is going to come out of. So stay tuned. Okay, so what happened to this air conditioner? If you take a look right there in the return valve, so you might be able to see it, there's a little bit of liquid right there. It looks like maybe it's condensation. That actually is where the leak is for the Freon leak in here. A telltale sign that you have a Freon leak in here, obviously you can see the coils right here. These are copper, but if you look at the bottom right here, they're black. Okay, the reason why they turn black is because the Freon leaking out has actually turned the copper black. So we've recharged this air conditioner twice. If the air conditioner, if inside the coils here, you have a leak, you can use what's called epoxy in there, and it may work and it may not work, and it may last, the air conditioning may last another 6 months, maybe a year, but eventually it is going to fail. But unfortunately, right in here, with the leaks down in here in these return valves, the epoxy is not going to do anything. Now, we had it recharged. We used a Captain Kidd down here, Tim from Captain Kidd air conditioning. He was fantastic. He recharged and he took all the Freon out and then recharged it. And it's been holding probably for about the past 4 to 6 weeks. It cools with no problem. But unfortunately, what's eventually going to happen is it is going to leak out. The Freon is going to leak out. And then what you're going to have is you're going to have the coils are going to start to freeze. And then right back in here, these coils are going to freeze. And that's pretty much going to be the end of the air conditioner. It's old enough. This is about 6 years old in here. So unfortunately, with the copper coils and the salt water, they do corrode. And it's definitely a common cause of the air conditionings to fail. So let's go to the next step. So we're going to remove the pillows off here. Now, if you're new to a 48 Sundancer and you don't know what's under here, this is an amazing spot. So we're going to take the cushions off. We're going to throw them up in the master over there. Okay. Okay, we discovered this, or actually our broker told us about this. The reason why this is here is this actually turns into a berth. So we could actually pull out the base. And normally what's stored underneath these 3 units right here are the cushions that fill in between the couch cushions and here to make another berth. So this becomes, okay, so now that we have everything exposed in here, we have all our clothes in here. This one here, if you're going to notice, this one's pretty empty. You don't want to fill this up. So the air conditioner actually gets the air from the salon through that side of the couch. It comes actually between the table and the couch over here, and then there's a vent that actually goes into there. Now, one of the things that we've done on every air conditioning in this boat, all the temperature probes are always installed right in front of the coils, because that is supposed to be where the air is getting in. But with this one here, the coils are on the aft cabin side. So the temperature probe is in the aft cabin, and yet we're out here. What we discovered is that we were freezing in here. We would have the air conditioning on 72, and it would be 73 in here, and it would feel like it was 60 degrees in here. So we've done this in the bedroom, in the aft, and we've done it here. We actually fed the probes, the temperature probes. It's actually sticking out right there. So that temperature probe is actually getting a real temperature of the salon. And you know what? It's made all the difference in the world in this boat. The temperature here is perfect. If we set it on 72, it feels like it's 72. And the other thing with that is that all the air conditionings in this boat, especially the one in the salon and the one in the master, they are perfect harmony. So if we want to keep the master running a little bit more at night, we keep the master at night at 63. We turn the temperature up on this one. We make it 74, 75 in here, and then our master runs a little bit longer. If we don't, if it's cold out and we don't want the master to run, we lower the temperature out here, and it's perfect harmony. Okay, one of the other things that is an absolute must, we're going to do a little fast forwarding so you don't have to listen to all this and see all this stuff. So we're going to take everything out of here. But what you're going to do is once we come back and we're recording, that towel right there is going to have all our tools on it. So you want to be prepared. You want to have electric drill and Phillips head and regular screwdrivers and small screwdrivers. And we've got clamps to take out. So we use nut drivers. We're charged our batteries for our drill. One of the biggest things that you need is we have the blue tape, the painter's tape, because when you get to the control box, you need to identify each one of the wires that goes in the control box, so that when you put it back in the control box, they go back the right way and you don't blow anything up. So we're going to now take everything out of the couch. We're going to lay out our tools. We'll just take a couple snippets of this and we'll speed it up, and that's it.
Just go and find Big Daddy. Big shine, shine, shine.
All right. Well, as you can see, if you go on the C-Ray forum, they're going to tell you have to take the entire couch apart. Okay. Well, I don't believe that, first of all, because there's no way to get this box out of there's no screws anywhere to get this box out. And this backing is stapled all the way to it. So I'm not sure is it possible that, remember, this is a 2007. Is it possible that the 2005, 2006 were made differently? Yes, it is. So what we had to do is we had to go on the inside. We have a super long screwdriver. We have an old purpose tool, and we have some knives that are very sharp. So what we had to do is we had to lift the carpet out from in front of this, and we actually had to cut out the foam underlayment. Okay, because once we got the underlayment out, now we were able to tilt the table towards the couch, take it away from the wall, and lift it all the way out. Okay, so we have the side table out now, which was a real treat to get out. Now there's some instructions about getting bolts out from underneath the table and so on. Well, every year is a little bit different. So this table here has unreachable bolts on the bottom. So there's no way we're getting the table out of here. There's no way we're disconnecting this table and then taking the wall out. So it all had to come out in one piece, which means we had to get the bolts out from the aft cabin side. So now that we have it out, we know how this comes out. We need to, there's a couple screws missing here. We'll get some screws put in there. But now that we have this out, and now one other thing I'm going to say is if you notice that any of the pieces that you take out are probably going to be marked like this is our hull number. Our hull number is 512. That's the build number, and that's for 48 Sundancer. So every year has a little bit different of construction. Sea Ray started building things and said, well, let's make it a little easier. So now we have everything out. Okay, we had to pull out some of the under the padding for the carpet. We had to pull the carpet back, but there it is. There's the air conditioner right there. So this is our access to the air conditioner. The control box just laying there on the floor, right on that box right there is the air conditioning. So our water lines coming in through here. Okay, so now the next step is, and we didn't disconnect anything on this. We didn't disconnect water lines or anything. We just have the power shut off on this. So the next thing now is that we need to now mark the control box wires, L1, P1, so that when we take them out of here, we know where they go in the new unit. And then we're going to disconnect water lines. We're going to have to shut down the ACs in the boat so that we don't have water coming out of the water lines. I do have shutoffs, but there is going to be water in here, so we'll get a little bucket. We'll drop the water lines in the bucket, and then we'll take the bolts off the bottom of the unit. We're going to slide it out. We're going to lift it up, lift it out, and we'll show you what we're going to do on that. So we opened up the control box, and we have a few things that we took out already. Your controller, which is this cable right here, is a 6-pin cable, goes up to your controller, your thermostat, which is up on the wall over here. We took out the probe. This is your temperature probe right here. Okay, this is a 4-pin. So right now that's a 6-pin, and then that's a 4-pin. So you can it says right on the board that this is the probe and that this is the controller right here. So you don't really need to mark these. But now what you need to do is you need to mark your cables that are coming into here. This cable right here that's in the sleeve, that actually goes to the air conditioner itself. You don't need to disconnect any of the cables that come out of here. The two blue wires right here, these are the wires that are coming from your control panel. So right now what we need to do is the ground wire was right here. We took the nut off the ground wire. And if you notice, I put ground, blue piece of tape and put ground onto those. So when we go and put the new controller in it, we're going to put these two back right on that stud. We'll screw them right in. And then this is important right here. So you see you have a red and black. You have two red and blacks coming in here. L2, L2 comp, L2 fan, L2 pump right here, okay? And then you have L1 pump and L1. So these wires now refer to those. So for example, this red wire right here goes to L2. So we want to take a blue piece of tape, put it right on here and put L2. Then we want to take this red wire right here and go to L2 pump. So we'll identify this one as L2 pump. And then the two black ones, the same thing. We're going to go to L1 and L1 pump on this. I'm going to do these right now. I'm going to disconnect everything. I'm going to mark them all, and then I'll show you what it looks like once they're all marked. Deep. You recording or no? Okay. So now you take a notice. All of our wires are now identified. Okay. These are the electrical wires coming from this from the main electrical panel. And now I should have said this before, but make sure that you shut the circuit breaker off in the panel before you start working on these. Sorry for not saying that before. I had done it a while ago, but turn the circuit breaker off. Once you turn the circuit breaker off, you have no power going to this, so you won't get electrocuted. Kind of important. We have everything labeled now. So right now, everything is currently free. So the panel's free. I'm going to put this back together. Now, this board, okay, the board that is in this controller is compatible with all Dometic self-contained units. So if you have, we will probably save this board. If you have a problem, and this is what's called the soft start. If you have a problem with one of your air conditioning and you need a board, the board goes out on it, the display goes out on it, where the soft start goes out on it. These are all compatible. They're all the same. So the brand new air conditioners that we have in both of these are the board and the soft start controller will work with it. And even the CTM will work with it. So it is good that if you're going to take a unit out like this, that's bad, keep the controller. All right, so controller's disconnected now from the boat. Okay, now we're going to find the mounts for the air conditioning that are in there. We already have the duct has been removed. We're going to find the mounts to the air conditioning. We're going to go in and take the mounts off. Then we need to find the drain. We're going to pull the drain hose off. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to shut down all air conditionings. Now remember something, you cannot run your air conditionings in your boat when you disconnect one of the air conditionings because they all flow through the same water. So we do have a shutoff in the engine room. We have a manifold that has a shutoff for each one. I just don't feel comfortable with that shutoff. So what we're going to do is once we're ready to disconnect the water, which is these lines right here, which we're going to disconnect from the other side. Once we're ready to disconnect water, we're going to shut all the air conditioners down. But we're going to do full prep work so that it's about 81 degrees, 82 degrees out today, and it is sunny. So the inside of the boat is going to get hot pretty quick. So we're going to try to get everything done, get all our ducks in a row, get the unit in, ready to come out, and so we can get the new one in right away so we don't swelter in here. So that's our next step. Let's start disconnecting. All right, so here we're back on the other side. We have look like there was only one mount right here on this side, so it's pretty free going in there right now. Here's your drain tube right here. That looks like we have to get disconnected right in there. There is no clamp on it, which is a little bit on the interesting side, but there, I guess there's no real no pressure going through there, so not that it's a big deal. But we got some coax cables in here. No idea what these are for. There's audio, video stuff everywhere in this boat, but we'll once we take the water lines off, we will try to move these around a little bit so they're not entwined. You got a lot of it's like a lot of just like crud back in here. Here's your vent to your washer and dryer right there. So next step is we got to just take that water line off. We'll probably get the vacuum out and suck that out, make sure it's clean. Doesn't look like it is clean. Looks like it's pretty dirty down in there. We'll get that taken care of, and yeah, that's going to be about it. Then we're going to just slide it out to the other side and pull it out of here. So stay tuned. Huh?
With this, the iPad.
Okay. Well, if you take a look down there, you'll see there's pieces of fiberglass, which is the insulation that's on the inside of this ductwork. You can see the fiberglass insulation in there. I'm guessing that whoever placed this earlier, from the original, didn't do it right. So I've always noticed on this boat that we had low airflow coming out of the vents in here. And lately we've been getting this black stuff. Well, you can see it right there. It looks like that the insulation was starting to go into the fan of the air conditioning, and that fan was blowing out the insulation in the boat. Plus we had nothing but dust in here, so just vacuum that out, then take a little wet cloth and go in there and clean that out. So it doesn't look like any mold or anything in there, which is good. So okay, now we're going to take out the drain hose, which is right down in here. Now, to mention before, you've seen me for the past couple hours with these sleeves on. Milwaukee sleeves, get them at Home Depot. They are arm savers. I used to not have those, and I'd be working in the engine room, and I had cuts and bruises all over my arms. The work gloves work great. You get yourself in there, you're not getting poked by anything. So, but these, when we're working on a boat, whether you work in the engine room or you're working in here, lifesaver, absolute lifesaver. Looks like my wife beat me up when I didn't have these, and I would go out to dinner and people would be looking at me funny, but it doesn't happen anymore. So then take the drain pipe out. Okay, we're getting that out of here, and then we're gonna have to shut down all air conditionings, because then we're gonna take out water lines out of here, and then pull it out and put the new one in. All right, so we have everything disconnected now. So now it's time. Fortunately, we need to kill the air conditionings in the whole boat, because we have to take one of them out. So air conditioner relay off, all the air conditioning's off in the boat. So nothing is, we're going to be sweating for a little while. So no air conditioning. Now, it's not just the only thing we need to do. Now we need to go into the engine room, and we need to shut the seacock, and we need to turn off all the manifolds into the off position, so that no water gets sucked up through the bottom of the boat. Because if the water lines are the feed lines to the air conditioning for the water, if they are below the water line, what's going to happen is it's going to siphon water right through the system, and it's going to come right into the boat. So we got our bucket in here. We're going to go shut the seacock. We're going to turn off all the manifold switches, and then we are going to disconnect water lines and take the unit out. You want to follow, you can. Going down the engine room now. Our air conditioner switches off. So we're going to come down in here, and we are going to shut the seacock. Pad down here. Okay. So going down here. So seacock is now shut off. Okay. We don't have outside water from under the boat coming in. And then now we are going to shut off all our shut-off valves on the air, each of the air conditionings under here. Okay. Okay, everything's shut off. And now it is time to disconnect. Okay, smells like vinegar in there. Okay, so try to move some stuff out of the way a little bit. Oh, crap back here. All right, so we're going to, here's our water lines right here. So hopefully when we take them off, they reach into this bucket. But we have a towel here, so if we get any water coming out of it, we will be able to soak it up. Okay, so we are definitely going to get water coming out of here, and it is going to be salt water, so you definitely want to keep it as dry as you can in here. So obviously salt water is corrosive. Okay, take top one off first. We also want to make sure that we mark these top and bottom. So actually we're going to go get a Sharpie right now. We're going to mark these. These probably aren't going to be the easiest things to take off, so got a little screwdriver here. Okay, well, here we go. It's out. Everything's disconnected. We have water lines disconnected. We have vent disconnected. So as of right now, that was an all-day project for about 4 to 5 hours, but it is out. So we're going to end this video here on taking it out, and then we're going to continue next week with putting it back in. We're going to do it now, but we don't have any idea how long it's going to take us to do it. So instead of having a 4-hour video, we're going to cut it for taking it out. And then next video that we'll post will be putting it back in. Well, we finally did it. We got the unit removed. There are so many screws and so many brackets that you need to find that are hidden in little spots, as you can see by the video. It took us about 4 to 5 hours just to remove the unit. So next, we have to install the new unit. Subscribe to our channel, so this way you're notified when the next video comes out for the installation. And we'll catch you later on Anchors Up Key West.